I'd like to call to order the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners regular board meeting, Thursday, October 26, 2017. Time is 6:30 p.m. Would you call the roll, please?
President Riley?
Yes.
Vice President Janet?
Here.
Commissioner Carlson?
Here.
Commissioner Egan? Commissioner Ensign?
Here.
Commissioner King?
Here.
Commissioner Todd? Here.
The next item is matters from the public. So your timing is perfect.
We just need you to fill this out. Sure.
I'm so happy to be here with the students from Reality, Illinois. I want you to know that we're just...
What you?
We just need that for the records, that's all.
Where would you like us? Right
Here,
here?
right here. And if you could just start off by giving us your name and address with organization.
Do you want each student's name and address, each student, or just...
No, just
okay.
yours.
Okay. Lily? Hi. Why don't you give them your name and address?
Right?
Yours.
Or, okay, I'm Lily Navarra. I live here, actually, on Tupelo Avenue in Naperville.
And Lily, tell them where we just were and what we were just doing.
So we were just at the Jewel Oscar in Ogden. We were doing one of our sticker shock campaigns, which is, we usually do it in June, actually, in memory of Mr. Petit, who had it, he's just years, maybe, I think he was coming along with us. But his son actually died in June, years back, due to underage drinking. And we made some choices and it ended up in his death. And so we do sticker shock campaigns in the summer, and now today we actually did one where we go to Jewel's in the area. We've done some in Glen Ellen, and we put like, I wish I had one now, but we have little tags that say like underage drinking kills, stuff like that. And so we put these on alcohol bottles, and it's just letting the parents know that distributing it is not a good idea, because Mr. Pettit's son was actually being given alcohol by a knowing mother. So it's a cause that really has affected him, and I see it every day as a high school senior, and I know other people in our group do. So we're affected by it. So we do these sticker shocks frequently.
And to explain the Reality, Illinois.
Okay, so Reality Illinois is a group of teen advisors, basically. We meet in the summer, and we also meet throughout the school year. And we sit down, and depending on the week, we talk about issues that impact us. We do a lot of smoking, drinking, and drug use because it affects teenagers so much nowadays. So we, depending on the day, sometimes speakers come in and speak to us. We've had a neurosurgeon come in and talk about like accidents, driving, injuries to the brain. So that was very interesting. We've had other speakers come in and talk about drug issues. And we just basically look for ways to solve it at our schools. We come up with slogans to put on posters in our schools, and we basically are trying to solve problems one step at a time.
So you just heard from Lily, Liz Naperville. I'm the advisor to the Teen Advisory Board to the DuPage County Health Department. We've got a presentation that they will give you. This is Mr. Jeff Pettit, who also lives in Naperville. He spearheaded the sticker shock campaign that Lily just talked about, where we hung tags on liquor bottles, reminding parents your actions matter. If they can't buy it, don't supply it. So we appreciate the Jewel letting us do that. We'll take the way out.
Okay, and just as a reminder, normally we limit public comment to 3 minutes, but we arrange for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shall we start? All right, so good evening. We're members of the Reality Illinois, the team board to the DuPage County Health Department. We want to start off by thanking you for hosting us tonight, and we highly appreciate the opportunity to give this presentation. Our goal in Reality Illinois is to promote healthy lifestyles, reduce secondhand smoke, and protect the environment and well-being of our communities. To do this, we research the impact of outdoor tobacco use in our communities, our planet, and our health. We interviewed representatives from park districts that are also already tobacco-free, conducted surveys to find out how the DuPage County residents feel about tobacco-free parks, and picked up tobacco litter in DuPage County parks. The scientific evidence is clear. Tobacco use remains the single largest preventable cause of disease and premature death in the U.S. yet more than 45 million Americans still smoke cigarettes. Secondhand smoke causes serious diseases and premature death, even among non-smokers. That's why a growing number of Park District boards are enacting laws that require all of their outdoor spaces to become smoke-free.
If residents refrain from using tobacco in parks, the beauty of the parks is maintained, the environment is protected, and the parks are accessible to everyone regardless of respiratory illnesses or allergies. A tobacco-free policy turns community members into healthy role models and helps make the parks the way they are supposed to be, healthy and fun. The surveys we collected show that many residents in DuPage County use parks several times per month or more, and many of these park goers are families, children, and people seeking an active and healthy lifestyle.
The surveys also indicated that many DuPage County residents are uncomfortable with smoking tobacco, especially around playgrounds that their children use. Children are vulnerable to hazardous effects of tobacco, as well as adults who promote tobacco use. If children see adults smoking, they're more likely to assume that it's okay and part of the community norm. Tobacco-free policies establish that smoking and tobacco use are not acceptable forms of behavior nor healthy lifestyle choices.
Tobacco use also affects the environment. During the tobacco litter cleanup in DuPage County this year, our Reality Illinois group collected a large quantity of tobacco litter. While cigarettes are the most littered item in the world, we also encountered lighters, cigars, e-cigarette cartridges, and chewed tobacco. Absolutely all of these are harmful to the environment they are.
For example, cigarettes are made of plastic. They take 5 to 10 years to decompose and they never biodegrade. In addition, the filters contain the same exact toxic chemicals that are found in tobacco smoke. When it rains, these chemicals leak into the soil and the water table. So the safety of these park goers is put at stake in an environment littered with tobacco waste. Tobacco waste poses an enormous health risk to children because they often mistake many of these items as food and attempt to eat them.
Cigarette smoke is dangerous, not only to the smoker, but to those around them. There is no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke, and secondhand smoke is the same intensity whether inside or outside. The smoke contains more than 7,000 chemicals. 172 of these are toxic, and out of 69 cause cancer. Even brief inhalation of cigarette smoke can trigger harmful changes in the cardiovascular system that increases the risk of heart attacks and asthmatic episodes. In non-smoking adults, secondhand smoke causes lung cancer, heart disease, and stroke. Among babies and children, it causes sudden infant death syndrome, low birth rate, weight, pneumonia, bronchitis, and ear infections, and more severe asthma attacks. Nobody should need to fear for their health because someone made the decision to smoke a cigarette in their vicinity.
Many community members go to parks or exercise or to improve their health. When exercising, you can inhale up to 10 times more oxygen as you do when performing normally. Therefore, the environment is not smoke-free. You have a higher risk of inhaling more secondhand smoke than under normal circumstances. It is simply not reasonable to expect a park-goer to ignore cigarette smoke and other tobacco litter. In fact, 86% of DuPage County residents have been bothered by tobacco smoke in parks. Many people assume that it is okay to smoke outside of work because the smoke will be blown away. In fact, tobacco smoke is heavier than air. It rises first because it is hot, but once it's cold and it cools, it drops back down. When that spreads smoke over a greater area, as far as 23 feet.
It makes sense to establish smoke-free parks in the community because it includes more than just cigarettes alone. Other tobacco-related litter such as chewing tobacco, lighters, and cigars are also commonly found in parks because of their unrestricted use. While these products damage the health of smokers and non-smokers alike, they set a bad example for the community as a whole. In addition, the litter left behind from them can be hazardous to the environment and the health of children and wildlife residing in the parks. Implementing a tobacco-free park policy would eliminate confusion about rules town-wide. Reduced confusion results in more confidence and a happier community.
Our surveys have shown that the majority of citizens prefer tobacco-free policies for all types of facilities town-wide. We want to make a difference to our friends and families, to our planet, and to the community that surrounds us. We are not able to make decisions regarding these issues. However, we are able to inform and communicate with those who can. We do it with purpose, passion, and great effort. The experience we have gained by presenting to park boards has helped us develop our skills and helped us engage in the important work of our county and municipal government. Thank you so much for your support and for taking the time to listen to our presentation. Now is the time to protect everyone's right to breathe clean air in our beautiful parks. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for us? Two of our students are stuck in traffic, but I think pretty much we hit all of the points that we wanted to make tonight. This is an amazing park district facility. You are an amazing park district. You are an amazing town. The fact that you have the ordinance for Tobacco 21 is truly, truly something exemplary. And we're here to advocate for compliance with a policy that we know will benefit all communities. And we commend you for the work that you're doing. We know that you do this not because the salary is a good one, but because you care about where you live, and we're appreciative of that. And I think it's a great example for these students who hopefully will go forward in the other park district in whatever town they live in. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're on to new business. We have discussion items. First is I'm sorry. Okay, we'll allow it up to 3 minutes. Read some names.
Thank you. I was late from the scene. Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Joe Cecchi, and I'm a longtime volunteer steward at Springbrook Prairie, where I volunteer with Forest Reserve and work closely with the reserve staff to protect, restore, and manage the habitats at Springbrook Prairie. I'd like to just take some time to talk about the proposed cell tower at Springbrook Prairie. It's your facility at the golf course. The board here approved that under a consent agenda item on February 9th board meeting. As you may be aware, the Naperville City Council recently tabled the approval of the conditional use permit due to the comments that were received, as well as letters from the DuPage County Forest Preserve District, the Illinois Nature Preserve Commission. Very briefly, there are a number of issues about the location of the tower and its impact on Springbrook Prairie that I don't think were identified prior to your looking at approval of this. And unfortunately, from my point of view and others, it's cited where it will have the greatest impact on Springbrook Prairie. There's two issues that are of concern. First, the aesthetic issue of having a cell tower so close there. Right now at Springbrook, because it is so open, it is a native prairie, you'll be able to see that 135-foot tower from virtually any place in Springbrook. Along the trails that people are jogging or biking, we're going to be able to see that. And currently there are no tall structures anywhere near Springbrook Prairie. Consequently, the proposed tower will dominate the skyline and will be totally out of place with what's there, which is generally utility poles in the residential neighborhood along the streets, or even the trees are only about 30 to 40 foot high. So that tower is going to dominate the sky, 90 foot of it is going to be above that. The other issue is providing, Springbrook provides important habitat for grassland and wetland birds, and is really one of the most important sites for those birds in northeastern Illinois. It harbors several endangered and threatened species. The proposed tower poses a potential risk to those birds because of impacts, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has developed guidelines to minimize bird impacts due to collisions with communication towers. But the proposed tower does not meet several of those guidelines. One is proposed near a known concentration area of birds, which is Springbrook. It's located near wetlands, and it is located near habitat for state threatened species. And as you know, Springbrook is not just a forest preserve, it's a designated Illinois Nature Preserve. A designation reserved only for the very most important habitats left here. So my point is Springbrook is not just an old field of weeds, but a very significant natural resource and asset that needs to be protected. The Park District and You've done a great job of having a number of green initiatives and is working to improve its own natural habitats. Your website indicates that one of the district's core values is to promote natural resource management. Protecting wildlife is part of your environmental policy. And I believe the term you use is green with enthusiasm. For me, it's hard to reconcile those green policies that you have with placing the cell tower in a location that would have such a negative impact on the second largest Illinois nature preserve in all of northeastern Illinois. So what I came to do was just ask you to, if you would take a look at the most recent information, the letters from the Forest Preserve District, the letter from the Illinois Nature Preserve, and the other testimony regarding the golf course cell tower. And in light of that information, I am hoping that you'll reconsider your approval of that proposed project. Thank you.
Now we're on to discussion items. First, again, resident independent contractor agreements.
Yeah, the first one is mine. At the next board meeting, we anticipate bringing 3 independent contractor agreements to the board for approval. This is for program instruction. The 3 agreements are with Shotokan Karate, with Challenger Sports, and with All-Star Sports. Shotokan provides a number of martial arts programs throughout the district. Challenger works with our premier soccer leagues, providing the professional soccer coach instruction that we provide with that league, as well as a number of camps and clinics. And All-Star Sports provides a number of youth athletic programs. In each of these instances, these are programs where the participation within those programs reach a level to where the payments to those organizations exceed $25,000, which require board approval to do that. So similar as we've done in past years, we would bring those contracts for your consideration at the next board meeting.
Okay, professional services contract for Naperville and Springbrook golf courses.
Yes, at the next meeting, golf is looking to bring to the board a contract for development of a master plan for our golf courses. We're looking to set up a contract with Martin Design, who we had worked with us previously developing the practice facility at Springbrook Golf Course. They have a wealth of knowledge and have done a number of similar projects working with other municipalities, including recently with the DuPage County Forest Reserve, redeveloping the Oak Meadows Golf Course. This process will consist of data collection and assessment of our property, include public meetings with our golfers, and review both golf courses, sites, and conduct a thorough site review, gaining input and kind of understanding what we need to do to keep our golf courses competitive in the future, make sure our golf courses are up to date. The final master plan includes reports that will include our cost estimate on possible projects, phasing of some of these projects, drawings and analysis with recommendations for future plans. This process will begin immediately upon this approval, and the data collection phase should be completed by the end of the year, and a final master plan should be ready by August of 2018.
We know we have issues with the bunkers over at Springbrook. We've known that for years. Aren't we better off just taking that 50 grand and fixing what we know we got to fix before studying what we've got to fix?
Well, beyond the bunkers, there's a number of other issues with the golf courses. We've reached an age at Springbrook where we're 45 years old now, and Naperville we're close to 30 years old. We have a number of other issues that needs attention. So with our limited resources, we want to know what would be best done immediately and come up with a phased plan to attack some of these projects.
We can't figure that out.
We have an idea of what we need to do, but we would like to come up with a plan that would also encompass an architect's knowledge, plus be able to bring in some knowledge from some other contractors, and then plus bring in the knowledge from the public and the buy-in from the public through this entire process.
Next is purchase of a sprayer for golf.
Continuing on, golf is looking to purchase a 2017 John Deere Pro Gator sprayer for the golf courses. This sprayer will replace a 2000 Cushman DS-175 sprayer. The 17-year-old sprayer has become unreliable and has a number of issues. It's made accurate pesticide application very difficult. The new sprayer will have a Generation 2 computer controller and foam marker, and it's going to help us promote very active spraying and help us to make sure that we are actually getting value out of our applications. And it's also going to help reduce time spent making these plant-protected applications.
Okay, next is option to renew contract for mower services.
Parks is looking to renew the contract with our mowing service, Ariona, for 2018. In 2017, they signed a contract with Ariona for 1 year plus a 1 year option. The service last year or this year was exceptional. We had very little issues with that and very few complaints from the residents. And staff feels it's well worthwhile to continue on with another year with Ariona. So this contract would include a $1 per acre increase on their fee for 2018.
Question, and I'm okay with the contract being renewed, given some of the problems that we've had with past contractors. My question is there any benefit, or have you ever asked the city about going out on a joint bid with we've got parks all over obviously, but we've got medians and stuff that they're mowing. I wonder if it makes sense to put those things together, if there's some price benefit either to us or to the city, or maybe both of us. Obviously not tonight, you're not gonna, but.
No, but I can go back to Kevin and then double back and make sure he answers your question, but I don't know for a fact.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, purchasing of a sprayer for Central Parks.
As long as we're talking about purchasing sprayers, we're going to purchase another one for Parks. Parks is looking to purchase a Toro Multi-Pro 5800G sprayer in an amount not to exceed $60,000. This sprayer will replace a 2006 model that's become aging and becoming expensive to repair and replace parts on it. This newer model is safer, easier to operate, and more efficient, using newer technology and some anti-drift nozzles to help more targeted spraying. This will help improve spraying efficiently and safely pesticides in the parks. This has several upgrades, including a covered boom, which will help spray in a wide variety of different conditions, and it's less intrusive to the public. And then also the boom is larger, and will be able to spray large acreage a lot quicker.
Just to ask you a question, is there any way that one sprayer could accomplish both golf and Central Parks needs?
Between golf and Central Parks?
Yeah, because we're talking about two sprayers.
Right. There's going to be times where we're going to need sprayers at both sites simultaneously, so there wouldn't be a sprayer available at one or another. So that would be the biggest difficulty between the two.
And related to Bill's question earlier, is there some price benefit from buying both these together and other different brands? Is it the same?
No, the Toro that is being purchased by Park has some upgrades that they need for the parks, most notably the covered boom. It just helps with keeping the spray targeted on site. They can spray during the day in wind conditions.
Right, but is there a benefit to buying them both at the same time from the same, who are we buying them from?
One's being bought from John Deere, one's being bought from...
So there's no...
No, both of them are on a state contract, so we're getting the lowest price possible.
Last discussion is declaration of surplus property.
We have a number of items that are being declared surplus. They are no longer needed for park purposes. The items listed that have any value will be offered for sale on gov deals or be traded in on purchase.
Okay, then we're going to department updates, administration.
Just a quick update. If you remember, some months ago, Naperville Little League approached us about renaming the field at Naperville Park after Dick Strang. At that time, the board did not have an appetite to move forward with that. Members of Naperville Little League recontacted me 6-7 weeks ago, asked if that appetite had changed. I said I didn't believe it did. I spoke with President Riley, who I believe has spoken with some of you, and the long and short of it was that there still was not an appetite to do that. I I informed the person from Naperville Little League that probably was not going to happen, but that we would work with them certainly to somehow commemorate Dick Strang's contributions, certainly to Naperville Little League and to the community and specifically to that field, maybe through a plaque or something of that nature. So I believe that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be moving forward with some type of a plaque, and as I get more information, I'll let you know. So Richard, you have anything on IEP?
You'll see in your review packet, I have a copy of the IEP preliminary program. The dates this year are January 18th through 20th. So when you get a chance to look at this, the registration information is in the back, the dates, the sessions, everything. Let me know what you're interested in.
Budget, I'm going to start with budget, and we're coming to a close.
Well, as long as you start with a smile on your face, we're good.
Yes. So if all goes well overnight, tomorrow you'll get a delivered copy of the budget, and in there we'll let you know when we'd like any questions that you have ahead of time, so we have time to respond to that before our November 9th workshop meeting. So that's moved up a little bit there. For those commissioners who have not heard the budget preview, I think Mike, Bill, and Rich, we'd like to try and get together with you before then to go through that overview. So please just let myself or let Ray know some times that we're available that we can get together. That would be great. And then just a couple other things. One other thing where I've been spending some time is, for those of you who don't know, I sit on our IMR pension board, Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, and our long-term executive director is retiring. He announced it last year, so we've had plenty of time. A very important position, and we've been working on a national search for that position, and have narrowed it down to 3 really excellent candidates, one from in state, 2 out of state. So it's been a big undertaking, and for all of us in the fund, hugely an important position that deals a lot with elected officials and protecting the sustainability and integrity of that pension.
Because he's done a great job keeping that fund on track.
He has, and he's really good. He's been there a long time. He has great, I was at a hearing last week, and he has a great relationship with a lot of our legislators. Mike Connolly was there, and it's going to be hard, big shoes to fill, but we're confident that we're going to bring in someone that will grow into the position, but with experience already in pension administration.
One of the benefits of buying more officers, we're not allowed to keep camp down the road like other places, right?
That's right.
Not saying that that's a bad thing, but it can cause problems. I don't know if we can look around and find a state that's got a problem.
In terms of getting the 3 of us together instead of us each sunny in time to open the stars lineup, do you want to propose some or maybe try to tie it to a meeting or something like that? What do you think?
Our next meeting is November 9th, so if you want to try to get together, you can do that. But I can travel wherever, one-on-one. We can do it in the morning if you each want to, whatever works best for your schedule.
It's time to do it 3 times. We should be able to get ourselves together. Maybe after the meeting, we should just look at their calendars. Because if we start Sunday, it's never going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want you to do it 3 times. It's a waste.
Okay, yeah, we have to post the meeting.
It has to be posted though, right? 3 people.
Whenever 2 or 3 are together.
No, whenever 3.
Only 3.
It's a little bit different.
And then I've got one other thing. In the November 9th meeting, you'll see a resolution for our estimated tax levy. It is not the approval of our tax levy, it's just an estimate we're required to do by law of what that levy will be. And typically for us, it's been the same as the levy, but it still could change a little bit between now and then if we wanted to.
HR.
Okay, well, I apologize to those of you that have heard the budget preview message. My information is going to be a little bit redundant, but I want to let you know at the November 9th meeting, I'm going to be bringing 2 items to the board for approval. It will be the placement of the 2018 dental coverage and placement of the 2018 vision coverage. My recommendation is that we retain the same provider for dental. And we are going to implement some plan changes that help bring the renewal amount down. But it isn't going to significantly impact staff and the benefit levels. It's just a little creative, and there may be some impact, but it should be minimal. The result in making those changes is about a 3.41% increase, which for on the dental end of things equates to just under $3,800 on an annual basis, and some of that is offset through employee contributions. Vision,
We are looking to change, the recommendation would be to change the provider. We are currently with MetLife with a VSD plan. We're going to go with IMED. It will give a greater retail option for our staff. They can go to Pearl Vision and things along those lines. This change is resulting in two things. One, a rate decrease of 18.12%. Vision insurance is fairly cheap, so that's about $2,600 savings. But we also have a 2-year rate guarantee, so that'll carry us through the end of 2019 as well. So that'll help from a budgeting perspective. So I'll bring those two to the board on November 9th. Just as an FYI, health insurance is remaining flat. Our contributions there for 2018. And I will be communicating the changes to staff via email ahead of the approval because we have to go into the open enrollment process. I don't want you to be surprised, that you may hear that we're having these meetings and, well, wait a second, we haven't formally approved it. But those are the recommendations that will come before the board at the next meeting.
All right, so winter season equates to upgrade season for us, and that's pretty much what we've been focusing on. Windows upgrade, the Exchange migration. Last Friday at about 4 a.m. we upgraded the web filter. So all those things are going on behind the scenes. Really important, obviously, to not affect staff at all. I don't think anybody aside from the people that I told that I was here at 4 a.m. even saw it. So that's perfect, and that's exactly what we want. So everything's just going smoothly. Truthfully, I did hit a hiccup when I was upgrading the Exchange migration. I stopped getting voicemails, and I was so happy that I only did me. So we're working through that and figuring that out because that would have been very painful for staff. So just test, run everything side by side as much as possible, and you guys won't see a thing or hear about it. So that's all I got.
Samira.
All right, thank you. So I believe that most of the commissioners are aware that a couple of years ago we transitioned from doorstep delivery, the program guide, to mail delivery, and we had several conversations around that. November 9th, I will be bringing a contract to the board to renew the delivery for 2018 to 2019, starting with the spring delivery and going through winter. This is going to be our third contract with Moser Tower Mail, and it's being quoted as a professional service based on research conducted by staff, recommendations made by other park districts, and of course our first-hand knowledge of working with this company for 2 years and being very pleased with their services. The memo is going to detail increase in postage from 45 cents to 47 cents, which will result in a per quarter increase of approximately $1,700. The total per season cost to deliver via mail will be $22,748, and this is to deliver to more than 48,000 residences. So we've seen a correlation of sorts between the change in delivery method from when we were doing doorstep delivery to U.S. mail. Certainly more reliable, and we could tell that in the decrease in calls that we received. A lot more people are receiving the guide. Brad and I've had conversations, several of them, just talking about the correlation of what we're seeing as far as an increase in participation, also an increase in revenue, and this also predates the opening of Fort Hill. So we feel that more reliable method is getting the program guides in the hands of people who want it. And of course, going back to our 2017 survey, we found out that the percentage increase of residents who want to receive it from 59% to 62%. So all those things figuring into the equation, the recommendation will be to proceed with another contract for the next year for program guides.
Should we have bought for our stamps?
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Parks and golf.
First off, parks. The flooding we had last week, we had some minor impacts to the parks. The majority of the issues were in the Riverwalk area. We did have a couple of pumps flooded that's in the beach and over by Naperville Park. Those both have been claimed or set up a claim with Virginia, so that has been submitted and set up for that. On the flip side, golf. The end of the season is approaching us quickly. Obviously, the weather's changed quite a bit here in the last couple of weeks. Our winter rate structure is going to begin on Monday. This will be our rate structure through the end of the season and then kick in at the end of, or the beginning of next year. Significantly lower rates, drop across the board for fees and for cards. So our golfers who still will enjoy some decent weather, hopefully will get some real nice fees for the rest of the year. Our annual turkey shoot's coming up quickly. That's going to be November 18th and 19th. And once again, that will be benefiting the Parks Foundation. All proceeds from that will be going to the Parks Foundation. On the revenue side, despite our poor weather, Naperville is still on track to surpass our revenue numbers for October, and Springbrook is close behind. And overall, we are still projecting rounds to be up slightly at both golf courses versus last year. And finally, golf staff is reviewing our contract right now with Point of Sale and online booking provider Golf Now. The goals of this review are just to look at ways to lower our costs and make sure we are getting the most out of this contract, and see if there's alternative providers out there that could do something better for us or give us a better option. So there'll be more coming on this in the near future.
Yes, on Tuesday, the Naperville Park District was awarded the 2017 Sustainability Award. Yes. And this is really the fruit of labor of the Naperville Park District cross-functional green team. So there's staff members that are part of all departments throughout the district, who meet on a regular basis throughout the year. The Naperville Park District first won the Sustainability Award back in 2012, and they won it again in this year. So we accepted the award on Tuesday, and I just want to read an excerpt from the Illinois Sustainable Technology Center that relates to the award that the Park District received. But the Illinois Sustainability Award Program was born at a time when people in Illinois were worried about the legacy of hazardous waste cleanup and abandoned industrial sites, said Kevin O'Brien, director of the Illinois Sustainable Technology Center, which administers the program. Today it is a celebration of the creativity and commitment in our economy and the responsible growth. Sustainability is no longer a nice to have, O'Brien explained. It has become a must for businesses and their operations. The leadership and sustainability shown by Illinois-based businesses attracts forward-thinking businesses to the state, he added. We are privileged to celebrate and highlight these leaders in this award ceremony. So, just want to share that with the board today.
That's it?
Yep.
So, no colored
only for this one.
Recreation.
Yes, so we're beginning to wrap up fall activities and already moving into winter. This coming Saturday will be the last day of our fall outdoor soccer season for the recreation program. We had to utilize the rain date, which is this Saturday, and then as soon as that wraps up, the following weekend on November 4th, we have youth basketball that begins in this facility. The first session will start on November 4th, and then we have another session in January.
And how many wait lists do we have on youth basketball?
We still have over 100 kids that are waitlisted on youth basketball. We have increased. We have over 600 kids that are registered in the program. Last year in our fall session, we had 463. We have added teams. We have worked with the school districts to secure additional gym time. A lot of the waitlisted kids that are still out there on waitlists are waitlisted because they wanted to be either on specific teams or the time frame in which we have open gym space just did not work out for their families. So that's something that our staff is going to continue to work on. We're going to try to work next year with the school districts to secure more space in our non-cooperative gymnasiums so that we can continue to grow this program. But certainly quite a bit of growth in the program, even from one fall to the other. So again, games with youth basketball begin November 4th, so we look forward to the start of that. We have a couple of events this weekend, all surrounding Halloween. We have the Carillon concert on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. at the Carillon. And then on Sunday, we have Halloween Happening, the annual event where we have a number of games, activities for the kids, bounce houses. We've added some entertainment this year, bringing the mobile stage out for the audience. And that'll be from 1 to 4 p.m. on Sunday near the Grand Pavilion. And then lastly, we will start our annual Pennies for Pies initiative. Starting November 1st through November 17th, we will have coin collection jars at our registration desks as well as the administration building. And we collect loose change from patrons, and the preschool classes also take this on as an initiative, raising funds to then purchase pies that we donate to Loaves and Fishes. Last year we donated 120 pies that they were then able to incorporate into their Thanksgiving dinners. So that's something that we will look to do this year. And last year over $700 was raised, so we're certainly shooting for that, if not more this year.
Brad, forgive my ignorance, but the student group that was here, what are they advocating for compared to what our policy is? I mean, are they advocating for a change in policy, or are they just bringing this information, or?
I believe this group is advocating for a policy that would make all of our parks tobacco-free. Right now, our facilities are tobacco smoke-free, as well as Centennial Beach is a smoke-free facility. So anyone that wants to smoke at Centennial Beach would actually need to leave that facility. They're looking for the district to actually expand that policy to cover all aspects of Park District property.
And do we know, like, other, maybe it's a little off topic, but do we know other park districts, is that a common, is that a common policy, or is it like?
It's not common out here. In fact, they're going to down Charles and Glen, we ask for all of the services. But it's not common. What's more common is slight expansion of the no smoking policy to say not within 25 feet of the grandstand or seat.
So, I mean, we think it's something we should take up, or just let it ride, or?
We talked about this the last time we were looking at the ordinance. And I know that, I recall that the issue was, how do you enforce it?
Right.
And that's the biggest problem. Plus the issue of how do you enforce it on a golf course where a lot of people like to, smoke their cigars and play golf and stuff.
That is actually the primary concern, but that's why, we have now they're close to the baseball field where there are stands. You can post on that sign is already exists, you can add smoking. So if somebody's smoking and you're not aware, the offended party can say that the rule is you have to be 25 feet away. So, but again, it's enforcement. People are fairly willing to comply with the rule. But you can't post a rule in the golf course.
Is this, just ask the commissioners, is this something we'd like to put as an agenda item on a future workshop for discussion item, or?
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
I received no complaints. So what are we trying to fix? I think if there's an issue, unbeknownst to us, it's being handled by the people themselves. So I don't know that more regulation and more ordinances.
I agree. Let's just,
help you guys.
If we were to talk about our staff had a recommendation for we could start putting the lead train or whatever policy. I'm for tabling or not bringing it.
If there's no strong opinion to the contrary, stay the course. Okay. Anything else, Roger?
No, that's it.
Next item is future meetings. Special meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, November 8th, 2017, from 4 to 9 p.m., 95th Street Library. Then the regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, November 9th at 7 p.m. And then, since we won't get enough of each other, we'll meet again on November 11th, from 8 to 12 at the 95th Street Library again. And then we get a little break. We go to December 14th for the next regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, 6:30 p.m. here. Next item on our agenda is executive session.
Move to adjourn. Move to adjourn to executive session.
What are we going to
Personnel?
Oh, 2C1. Pursuant to 2C1.
This motion has a second.
Yes.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Please call the roll, please.
President Riley?
Yes.
President Gannon?
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson?
Yes.
Commissioner Egan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ensign?
Yes.
Commissioner King?
Yes.
Commissioner Todd?
Yes.
Let's take a 5-minute break before we reconvene so that you can
turn that on.
Try to schedule it down.
One question. Our November 9th meeting, I have it down as Fort Hill.
I'm sorry, what day is it? November 9th is City Council.
No, we remember we were going to change that.
It's recording. Bridget. Bridget.
That is.
Can you stop recording?
It is here?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make that change.